Have you ever worked on one project and ended up getting inspiration for another? Well, that definitely happened to me with my Amazon Paludarium here behind me when I was working on my US native Paludarium. To sum it up, inspiration hit and changes were made. So let's go ahead and look at what is different.
So as I said, after working on version 2 of my US native Paludarium, I got inspired to put a little work into my South American Paludarium as well. And by a little work, I mean completely tearing out the background and reframing the whole design of the tank. Of course, this did give me the opportunity to refine some aspects of the tank that needed improving. I played with the positioning of the hardscape on the land portion of the tank in order to more prominently feature the wood as the plants grow in. I also added in a few more small branches for added detail. I left 2 open areas in the background this time around to make things seem a little more open. And instead of white background, I went with a cloudy sky design that I actually printed off myself. And finally, I adjusted the design of the waterfall a bit, not only to go for a different look, but also to better direct water flow. As water flows down, it pools up a bit at the bottom of the waterfall, just before cascading out into the tank. The land portion is also not sticking out as far as it did before. This way, as the plants grow above, they won't shadow the plants in the water below. And speaking of the water section, I went with a bit of a different direction there as well. With this tank, I'm always striving to make it a realistic representation of nature, at least as much as possible. To that end, I'm trying out a new substrate in the tank that is working quite well so far. That is nature-based substrate from Tannin Aquatics, which very closely mimics the substrate you would expect to find in a South American stream or river. Although it is very light and silty, it did settle well since I soaked it beforehand in a bucket for about 2 to 3 days. In addition to a fresh load of botanicals, which are still going through their biofilm stage, I also added some new plants. A couple of Argentine swords, some tall hairgrass, and some Mayaca selowiniana. So far, these are all doing well, and I'm actually spotting a good bit of new growth. The fish stocking for the tank has remained the same, although if you've seen any of my previous videos, you may notice a certain school of fish is missing. We'll talk about them in another video, but don't worry, they are alive and well. Well, that is the renovated 29-gallon South American Paludarium. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing it evolve and seeing how the new elements contribute to the ecosystem of the tank. As I always like to say, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next Friday video.